My name is Alfredo Mejia. I'm working for Mighty Acres Farm in Batavia, New York. And a long time ago, I working on the factory, and I just get 40 hours. And I not can make enough money to pay my rent, my bills. So I get a friend, and they told me, oh, if you want to work on the farm, you can work so many hours you want it. And I decided to come to work for the farm. And I got enough hours where I want it and make enough money so I can send my son to college. And he already done, and I got everything paid. Thank you all these many hours the farm let me work. And I got another son. He just done high school, and I planning to send him to college too. And I just bought a house. And if you guys cut the hours to 40, I not can make enough money. So pay my son to go to college and pay my mortgage for my house. So we just wanted to get like 60 hours or more, because I have so many friends. They already start thinking about to go to another city or another farm to get more hours in another state, because they don't want to come up here just for 60. They wanted more than 60. If you guys go to 40, maybe they don't come no more.
It really is not that hard to understand. 60 hours we have been able to manage. Our workers aren't very happy that we hold them most of the time to 60. Very seldom do we go over 60 because the economics just aren't there. The margins are not there. But if we cut the hours back below 60, our biggest fear is that we won't get workers. They won't come to us. They want the hours. They're supporting families. They're supporting educations back home. They're supporting educations and families right here in the States. So cutting the hours back is not the answer.
On our farm, our labor costs have increased dramatically, and that's twofold. One is we are paying a fair amount of overtime. We do have employees that are certainly making more with overtime, but also our costs have increased because the labor availability, we are in an extreme labor shortage now, and this is a critical time. We thought a way to manage around this overtime bill was to potentially hire more employees, spread the hours over more employees, and that would be a way to keep our costs down. That is impossible to do right now. There are not more employees to hire, and we are struggling to manage that, and it's having a significant impact here on our farm.
Hey everyone, I'm Stem van Staren. I'm from South Africa, H2A worker. We come over seasonally, like between 4 to 8 months, some is longer, but we are for the most part here for the money and working the hours. The first day when I called for my interview, one of my first questions is, what is the hours? We are budgeting on a minimum of 60 hours for us to be worth it to come over here for so long away from your family and friends and everybody being out here. So we prefer the 60 hours or more or as much as possible. And if it's going to go lower, they're going to not let us work more than 40 hours if you want to drop it to 40 hours. And then we're not going to make the hours and it's not going to be worth it for us. So we're going to try to look for other places where we can get 60, 80 hours. I know some of my friends that's doing the same as me down south in Texas, where they get sometimes up to 100, 110 hours. And they don't have a limit, and we're here for the money. So if it's going to go down from 60 lower, most of us will start searching for jobs down south for places where we can work the hours we wanted.
Good afternoon. My name is Porfirio Gabriel. I'm a Torrey worker. We come 14 years ago with this farm, and I feel fine. And all my guys when come with this farm, they happy because they make money for these families. Last year, everybody not happy because the senator say reduce 40 hours. The 40 hours no support my family, no support my son because we send college for education. Everybody not happy. They happy when somebody tell him 40, 60, 65, 80 hours. They very happy because everybody come make money for his family, for eat, for clothes, for medicine, for everything. We in my town no got work. We come looking for work here for support my families.
People who represent very few farming communities simply don't understand. I'm not going to say that they intended bad things. Maybe from their standpoint, this was a good law. But the reality is sometimes on the ground, what looks good in Albany or in Manhattan doesn't look good on the ground. You heard from farm workers who this was supposed to benefit, that it's not going to benefit them. They're going to be taking home less money. They're going to be working less hours. And that has real implications for their families. So if we really care about farm workers, we should listen to farm workers. If we really care about farmers, we should listen to farmers.
Rain was telling me earlier the scope of how far her food goes to Florida, to Texas, to Maine. 40% of the country, you were saying, is within your distribution network for her food. So that's the impact of one farm, and there are so many others around here that literally feed our families with healthy, nutritious food and provides employment for people who come to our communities to help provide the farming service. And Stain said earlier that at 60 hours he would stay, at 40 hours he would leave. And Dave Zittel mentioned that 2/3 of his workforce is H-2A workers. So if that doesn't tell you the story right there, I don't know what does. You need 60 hours to stay, to receive a wage that you can live on, that you can provide for your families, you can educate your children. And that's what we need to do, is to send a loud and resounding voice to Governor Kathy Hochul, who certainly gets it. She was a local official, she was a county official, and a state official, as well as a federal official. She knows the impact. She realizes what this will do to our farms. So unified, we need to say, Kathy, listen to our farms. Pay attention to the challenges that they're faced with and give them the 60-hour overtime compromise. Let's uphold that compromise, because that's what it needs to be maintained at.
But one of the things that was mentioned earlier by someone was, you make hay when the sun shines. It's an adage. It's an idiom. Farms operate under the vagaries of weather. And in the state of New York, regardless of whether you're in the North Country, the Southern Tier, Hudson Valley, or here in Western New York, the weather is unpredictable. Yes, it's unpredictable across this country, whether it's in Florida or California or New Mexico, wherever. But we only have literally 7 months to plant, cultivate, place herbicides, etc. on the crops, and then harvest. That makes it unbelievably difficult for New York farmers and employees to grow the crops, whether it's fruit, wheat, hay, oats, whatever it may be. We don't have 12 months like Florida and California. We are not Florida and California. We are New Yorkers with very specific difficulties in terms of agriculture. So I hope that all of you listen to the folks that actually do the labor. And by the way, when I was in high school, my friends would come out to our farm. It's just outside the city of Batavia. We'd bale hay, we'd bale straw, we'd do the manure picking up, and they loved it. Not anymore, unfortunately. So I would just say to you, and the wage board, which by the way only has 3 members, I have a bill, Assembly 5656, that would change that to a 5-member wage board. Ironically, it would include the Commissioner of Agriculture. Strange, isn't it? A wage board to determine the future of agriculture, and a member at large of the business community. So I would hope that this legislature would support that and move the wage board to a 5-member so that they can make an informed decision. Agriculture has been said is the number one industry in this state, and I applaud all of you. And I am a former farmer myself. I applaud all of you for what you do for not just the folks in New York State providing them food, but the entire country as well as the world.
And I think we also have some egg businesses here too. And the egg businesses know what our costs are and know what our prices are and what the margins are. And I'll tell you, all these workers know how hard it is to make a margin. And right now we're competing against Canada, and Canada's our main competitor. Their government froze their wages. They're $4 an hour less than we are. And they also don't have any time and a half. And they undercut us. They also have the difference in the dollar. And all of them know how much a tractor costs or a truck costs, or all of us are in this together.
You kind of anticipate my next question, I think, but I think some people might also say, just raise prices.
We can't raise prices because we're in a global economy. Whoever would dream that I'd be competing in the summertime with cucumbers and zucchini and yellow squash from Mexico? But I am. They're growing them across the border in hoop houses, and they come to the east because this is where the population is. And I laugh because I pay more in an hour than most people earn in a whole day in Mexico.